Hey, boo, hey. Oh my gosh. I should have talked to you earlier because I just finished watching this show and I cried so much and my face is all red and I'm just like, what is happening? Um, but yeah, it really got me thinking. So, famous last words with Eric Dane, right? He literally died, I want to say yesterday. But he had recorded this video to be shown after he passed. And they aired it right away. Right away. And so I watched it today. It happened to come across my social media feed, right? A clip from it. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. And I watched it and I just bawled. Now, I don't know this man from Adam at all. Like, I do remember him being McSteamy and Grey's Anatomy. I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy, but I've seen so many clips. There's so many clips circulating currently about Grey's Anatomy. So I've seen him in clips, and I did see him in the last Bad Boys movie. I did watch that. I did not watch Euphoria. I know he was in that as well. So I'm not super familiar with his body of work, and I don't know him as a human being. Like, I don't know him as a person, right? I don't know him personally. But I do recognize he's a human being who that had a certain experience and he had a terminal illness, a debilitating illness, and he passed away from it. And so I'm just going to share what I took away from his Netflix special for, or not special, but just the session on Netflix. I don't know what to call it. His famous last words on Netflix, just at face value, right? Because we know how media is. Everything is production, but I'm just taking it as face value. And so what I'd say was it's hard when you've known a person as one way and then you see them broken down in some way, whether they had a mental break, a physical break down, um, sadness, depression, lost a lot of weight, whatever. I have both of my parents had cancer and thank God they're still with us. But, seeing what their bodies went through, what their minds went through, it's hard to see, I'm not saying we shouldn't see, no, because it's part of life, right? It's a hard part of life, but it's part of life. And I think watching his special just made me really feel like I wish in school and I wish our families were equipped, both school and our families, to teach us three things at the very least in life is financial management, communicating effectively with other people throughout our whole lives, loved ones, especially work, whatever, everything, communicating effectively. And three is grief. Because no matter who you are, if you're a human being on this earth, if you're a spiritual being having a human experience on this planet, you're going to deal with those three things. You're going to have to manage your money some way, shape, or form. Even if you spend it all, like I've done in the past, that's one way to manage it. Or if you are very, you know, calculated and strategic on how you do it, you're gonna have to communicate with people. Like most, a lot of misunderstandings. Even I told you yesterday about the weightlifting, the leg press, right? That happened from a miscommunication because I wasn't communicating effectively with my trainer. But miscommunications happen all the time with human beings, and some of them lead to some really, really bad things that could have been avoided. Um, and it causes us so much pain in life, right? And lastly is grief. Like, we all go through grief. And I don't mean, yes, a big grief is losing a person, them passing away, for sure. That one, we all understand that as being a source of grief. But also, like, when your pets pass away, when you up and move yourself from one country to another or one city to another. Shoot, when you leave high school and move on, when you leave college and move on, when you leave jobs sometimes, there are so many different places in life. Shoot, me, bankruptcy, foreclosure, job loss. When you experience loss at any time in life, and we all experience multiple losses, as a result of that loss, you can experience grief. Not everything will be grief. Not every loss will result in grief, but there are many that result in grief. And because many of us, especially myself, we're not taught how to deal with grief, how to process it in a way that is healthy, it can become a thing that can have adverse effects on your whole life. Part of what Eric said in his last words, famous last words, was he suffered his whole life because his dad committed suicide and he lost his dad. Like, that was a loss that turned into grief that impacted his entire life. And I'm not saying like, oh, it's this cute little bow, you just wrap it up and, forget your dad and forget that happened and live happily ever after. That's not what I'm saying. But I've been through grief recovery before, and it has helped process grief. But it's like, it would be greater if we all had these skills, right? And we all knew how to best help support each other. Now there are many people who are fortunate enough to have people around them who help them, for sure, that support them, that can sit there in silence if that's what they need, that can bring them food train if that's what they need, like whatever they need to help them through what they're going through. They have people in their lives like that. And I am so grateful for those people, and I'm so grateful. And I try to be a person who's like that. I don't always have the best words to say when my friends and family are going through things, but I do, you know, try to be there in a way that helps them and not like puts more burden on them. Like, I'm not gonna ask, oh, if you need anything, let me know. Because to me, it's like when you're deep in grief, it's hard to think, right? And then it's definitely hard. It can be hard to reach out, depending on the person. Um, but also I just try to do things like whatever they need, whatever they need. And so, but yeah, those three things, I'm just like, why did not we not get this education? Now I know some people did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody didn't, but I know me, a lot of my friends, definitely in my family, we did not get that education. And if you look at the America as a whole, the USA as a whole, and our where we are as a whole, and where our money is as a whole, as a nation, and the tragic and traumatizing things we've had to deal with, I can definitely say we have not learned how to, at least community wise, collectively, communally, manage our money, communicate effectively, and process grief. We have not. And it's just spilling out all over every each other, and it's spilling out over the world. And it just sucks. It just sucks. And I think it was really, I won't I I think I appreciate, I was gonna say brave, but brave is not the word. I appreciate the sentiment of Mr. Dane recording a video, especially his end message, like the last 5 minutes of his famous last words were directly for his two daughters. Like I said, I both of my parents had cancer before, and if I would have lost either one, but especially my mom, I would not I would not do well with that. And so, I can't imagine what they're going through. And they're young girls. But it doesn't matter. Like, no matter what age you are, if you lose your parent, it's it's hard. If you loved your parent, it's hard, 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 hard. And I can't imagine what they're going through. I can't imagine what his wife is going through, or his friends, or the people who really loved him and knew him personally, right? Again, I don't know him from Adam. I'm just speaking about what I've observed in this thing on Netflix. So, but I have, is it empathy? I think it's empathy for him as a human being, right? What he said, whoo, when he said he has gone through his whole life feeling not good enough, regardless, what, regardless of whether or not that was done for effect for the show. I know it's hard. I hate to be, is it cynical or untrusting? But the media for our beautiful nation is very, very, very jacked up right now. So I take everything with a grain of salt or a bag of salt. This salt I have right here. But this is what he said. So I'm taking it as face value that he meant that. And that I have I have personally felt that before. And that is a hard thing to live with. It's just like no matter what you do, who you are, who you become, you're just not good enough. And to be someone with so many accolades, you know, and still feel that way is like it just reminds me like it doesn't matter. Everybody's going through something. It does not matter. It does not matter how famous they are, how rich they are, how seemingly they have everything, how good they have it, whether they get to surf all day and live at the beach, or whether they run a big corporation, or whether they um are philanthropists and get to do charity work all day long, or if they have all the kids they ever want and all the family and friends they ever want. Like everybody's always going through something. Um, and it's just a reminder to me to be kind to people, be kind to people. And also not, I don't want to say work on my stuff, but I do know the things that we internally suffer through can spill over to the people that we love, can spill over to the work that we do, can spill over to our external, and it impacts our lives. In addition to the internal rumination, like it's no joke being trapped in your own mind. And he said that a couple times, being trapped in self-doubt. And, he battled a lot with drugs and alcohol. And people who battle with drugs and alcohol, I've met a lot because that's a whole nother story, but I've met a lot. It's usually some internal beliefs, things they've been through, they weren't able to process. And so, yeah, yeah, yeah. Finally, I loved his message at the end where he gave advice to his daughters, right? And he told them, I just wrote it down really quickly, live in the now, fall in love with something, like find your passion, go after it. That's to fall in love with something. Choose your friends wisely and love them bigly. I put bigly. And fight with everything you have, especially when you have challenges. And I just thought that was such a good reminder. I know it's for his daughters, but it was a good reminder for myself, and just like this crazy journey I'm on right now. I don't know what this journey is, but it's a journey of some sort. And hopefully when I come out on the other side of it, it'll make sense then. Because it kind of doesn't make sense now. But anyway, from one human being to another, my heart goes out to his family, his wife, his kids, his family and friends, and everybody who has suffered the loss of him being gone. And I'm glad that he gets to rest, right? Dealing with terminal illness is no joke. And I'm glad that he gets to rest. So, girl, I know we were supposed to talk about something better today. Woo! I even went to the mall and saw a lion dance, and I wanted to show you footage from that. Just remind me, and I'll show you later. But oh, thank you for listening, because my little sensitive heart couldn't hold it in. But I will talk to you later. I'm gonna get myself to sleep. All right. Ciao.